Lagos Talks
91.3.
News.
President Muhammad Buhari has warned ministers, permanent secretaries and heads of government agencies not to leave governance for electioneering. He issued the warning in Abuja on Tuesday at the closing ceremony of the 2022 Ministerial Performance Review Retreat, cautioning that any infraction will be viewed seriously. According to Buhari, with campaigns for next year's elections on the way, governance should not be abandoned. The president added that the lessons learned in the last 3 years of implementing his government's policies, programs and projects would serve as a platform to propel every ministry to stay committed to the achievement of development goals. The chairman, Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution and Deputy President of the Senate, Ovio Mwagege, has lamented that only 11 states have voted and complied with the constitutional amendment carried out earlier this year, while 25 states are yet to consider and vote. Senator Mwagege, who made a disclosure at a joint press conference on constitutional amendments and latest development at the National Assembly, accused some state governors of interfering in the affairs of state assemblies and turning state lawmakers into puppets for their selfish gains.
States have successfully considered, voted on, and forwarded their resolutions on the 44 bills to the National Assembly. And that vote is being taken hostage, and that is what we are against. If there are bills there that you are not comfortable with, vote it down. But to hold it hostage, you are holding the entire exercise hostage, you are holding the entire country hostage, and that's what we're against. And we thought it is right that the Nigerian people, through the media, understand who is holding this hostage at this particular time.
Meanwhile, the President Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Baba, while speaking on state policing, stated that the constitutional amendment process was transparent and fair.
I can say that this process has been followed up to the latter, from the public hearings in the 12 states to the public hearing here in this National Assembly chambers. And Nigerians freely canvass for position on all those issues. And I remembered the position of NLC about the state police was very clear. Check the history of thuggery in Nigeria and also insecurity. How do we actually empower political thugs to now become bandits and even become Boko Haram? Check the history very well. It started with political thuggery. And clearly our position is we are not matured for that.
The minority caucus in the House of Representatives has said that the attack on People's Democratic Party's presidential campaign rally in Kaduna, the Kaduna state capital, on Monday by thugs was against the peace accord recently signed by the political parties. While condemning the unhealthy development in strong terms, the caucus, in a statement by the minority leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Ndudi Elumelu, on Tuesday in Abuja, alleged that the thugs may have been mobilized by certain interests in the All Progressives Congress. He said the attacks were capable of derailing Nigeria's democracy if not checked, even as he called the National Peace Committee and the security agencies to investigate the matter and put appropriate security measures in place ahead of the 2023 general elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Tuesday reassured Nigerians that there is no plan to discard the use of the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System, BVAS, and the electronic transmission of results. Addressing participants in Abuja at a training of master trainers on technologies for 2023 general elections, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said the Commission is determined to deploy the BVAS technology for the conduct of a free, fair, credible and transparent election. Professor Yakubu also appealed to political parties and their candidates to shun politics of violence, saying it could further complicate the country's security situation.
Let me caution parties and their supporters to focus on issues and steer clear of attacks on each other. These are not only violations of the Electoral Act 2022, but also negate the voluntary commitment by all political parties and candidates to the letter and spirit of the peace accord signed about 3 weeks ago under the auspices of the National Peace Committee. Parties, candidates and their supporters should not, by acts of commission or omission, further complicate the prevailing security situation in the country.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has assured that he will work to further the progressive objectives of the ruling party. Tinubu, while speaking at the just concluded third ministerial performance review retreat of the Muhammad Buhari administration at the presidential villa in Abuja, assured that a Tinubu government would put in place a system for effective wealth redistribution.
I will work in the spirit of cordial unity, national purpose that informed the creation of our party and characterize the work of your government. Most importantly, that the way and means of a Tinubu government will be devoted to further project and prosper the Nigerian people, because our guiding principle will be to provide the best of progressive governance.
Tinubu, who pointed out that President Muhammad Buhari's administration had done much to tackle the insecurity in the country, promised to build on it and strengthen the security apparatus of the country.
Upon entering office, you faced a situation where deadly terrorists were planting flags on our national territory, proclaiming an illegal state within our legitimate state. Because of your collective work, they no longer plant those flags. They dare not. Their boasts of conquest are no longer heard. You put us on the road to defeating this menace. By the grace of Almighty God, we shall persist until terrorists and those like them are utterly removed from the face of our nation.
The Nigerian Army on Tuesday launched 3 special military operations in the southeast, south-south, southwest and north-central to tackle rising insecurity across the geopolitical zones. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, flagged off the exercises at the Nigerian Army 6th Division Step-Up Headquarters in Ahwada River State. He said the exercises, code-named Exercise Golden Dawn in the southeast, Enduring Peace in the north-central, and Exercise Still Waters in south, south and southwest would complement ongoing security operations in the zones. According to him, the operations, which involved team operations with other services and security agencies, including the Navy, Air Force, Police, Department of State Services, Civil Defense Corps, among others, were specifically formulated to meet the unique security challenges in the various geopolitical zones. The 22nd edition of the National Conference of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, COSO, has kicked off in Lagos with the theme Spring Forth Standout. In her welcome address, Chairman of COSO and wife of the Lagos State Governor, Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, noted that the rationale behind this year's theme is that after awakening from last year, which implies vision or direction, there is need to move from vision to visibility and then integrity tests.
Conference is a place where we network and rub minds, improve your intellect. There's a lot of things that the women out there do. So when you want to reorientate the society, one of the things that you do is to engage them in trainings, engage them in seminars, so that they can understand things better.
Mother of the Day and wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, who noted that the theme of the conference, Spring Forth Standout, is apt, especially during the electioneering year, further urged women to take leadership positions. The Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, a franchise of the Islamic State ISIS, has claimed responsibility for an attack on a church in Kogi State. According to reports, at least 2 worshippers were shot dead while 3 others were injured as gunmen numbering about 6 attacked a celestial church located in Felele area of Lokoja in Kogi State last Sunday. According to Zagazola Makama, a counter-insurgency expert, ISWAP said its men were behind the attack, having a camp inside Okene Forest from where it is coordinating attacks in Kogi State. The terrorists have intensified attacks on soft targets, especially churches located in isolated communities, following their inability to launch attacks on military formations in the state. You're still listening to the World News. On the foreign scene this morning, Somalia faces famine on a scale last seen half a century ago, the United Nations has said, as it set a new target of more than $2 billion in funding needs. James Elder, the UNICEF spokesman, told reporters that things are bad and every sign indicates that they are going to get worse. In August, 44,000 children were admitted to health establishments with severe acute malnutrition, a condition that means a child is up to 11 times likelier to die from diarrhea and measles than a well-fed counterpart. Somalia has suffered 4 successive failures in its rainy seasons since the end of 2020, and there are fears that a 5th failure is now underway. Over 14.8 million children in the United States have tested positive for COVID-19 since the onset of the pandemic. This is according to the latest report by the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association made public on Tuesday. The report stated that nearly 163,000 of these cases had been added in the past 4 weeks, with the association noting that there is a need to collect more age-specific data to assess the severity of illness related to new variants as well as potential longer-term effects. In business news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, says the cooperation with Nigerian security has significantly reduced the scale of oil theft in the Niger Delta region following the discovery of several illegal pipes. The Group Chief Executive Officer, GCEO NNPC Limited, Malamele Kiari, made this known on Tuesday in Abuja at the ongoing Energy and Labour Summit 2022, organized by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASAN. Kiari, while speaking on a wide range of industry issues such as energy transition, Petroleum Industry Act 2021, a brand new NNPC Limited, tackling crude oil theft, he underscored the need for collaboration between government security and regulatory agencies to halt the crude oil theft to spur economic growth. Kiari, while expressing optimism that the country will have access to more crude and revenue in the coming weeks, said the PIA passage had made the industry competitive, bringing companies back for investments while business decisions were being made. Finally, in sport news, the draw for the additional second preliminary round of the 2022-2023 CAF Confederation Cup took place on Tuesday in Cairo, Egypt, with the 2 Nigerian club sides drawing North African opposition. Recall Rivers United and Plateau United had lost to North African opponents in the CAF Champions League second preliminary round last weekend. With the second preliminary round losers in the CAF Champions League dropping into the CAF Confederation Cup additional second preliminary round, both Rivers United and Plateau United got a second chance. The Port Harcourt-based Rivers United will now host El Nasr of Libya in the first leg match scheduled for November 2, while the Libyan side will host them on November 9. Also, Plateau United of Jos will host Al-Qaeda of Libya in their first leg game, while the latter will host them in the second leg. Liverpool's Portugal forward Diogo Jota has been ruled out of the World Cup with a calf injury, according to Reds manager Jurgen Klopp. The 25-year-old was taken off on a stretcher in the final moments of his side's 1-0 Premier League win against Manchester City at Anfield on Sunday. Klopp said Jota will be out for a long time and added that it might be about months. He missed the start of the season with a hamstring injury before returning as a substitute in a goalless draw against Everton on September 3rd.
Lagos Talks
91.3.